Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining this week are Andy Parsons, Ben Narson, Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. OK, we start with headliners. Here's a picture of Lib Dem leader Sir Mingus Campbell at his party conference in Brighton. But what does PMOC stand for?
Is it the Lib Dem leadership options? You've got pissed man or corpse.
Is it please, memory old, can't...
It's horrendous, doesn't it? He looks terrifying. Didn't I kill him on level 3 of Resident Evil?
Is it please make Orville cooperate?
Is it Peter Mandelson's oldest conquest?
No. OK, the C stands for Campbell.
Problems mount on
Pressure
Campbell.
mounts on Campbell!
Pressure mount on Campbell! The answer I was looking for was pressure mounts on Campbell. This is a subplot to this week's conference. Sir Mingus set out his policies on environment, taxation and economy. Questions continue to be asked about his leadership and poor performance in the polls. What problems has he faced at the conference?
He's an old bastard, Dara. He was the guy who founded the Ming Dynasty.
It does come down to that, doesn't it, basically? I mean, you know, he can say whatever he wants, but you just find yourself going, yeah, he's old, though, isn't he? I had somebody in a pub the other day, it was horrific, go, yeah, he's got some good policies, but I bet he don't know how to use an iPod. And you're like, as if that matters in any way. Kind of go, what are you going to do about immigration? Shuffle?
It's not even so much that he's just old, he's so sort of lifeless and lacks energy. There's more life left in Robin Cook. He's got one white blood cell left and it's fighting the Alamo. Look at him, no wonder Flash Gordon won every week.
He is the same age as Paul McCartney. And who would you rather have running the country?
Well, yeah, probably him, actually, to be honest.
Isn't it? Surely if anyone's praying for an early election, I mean, he must be praying for an early election. It's number 2 on the list in his prayers after painless death. Early election.
Who prays for a painless death every night?
Surely every morning and every night. He says he wants a greener vision of Britain.
Yeah.
He's going to have a greener vision of Britain, isn't he? Because soon he's going to be looking up at it through about 6 inches of grass.
But that's the problem.
Surely they'd bury him deeper than that. 6 inches of grass? What kind of cheapskate funeral home is he going to?
He's only 66.
I know.
Ancient.
That's all he
Jesus.
is.
Ming has said he wants to hammer the rich people.
Yeah.
He said he wants to hammer the top 10% of earners. And people going, well, you know, you'll never get people to vote for increases in tax. Well, I think if it's just increases in tax on the top 10%, then people will probably be going, maybe we will vote for that. The rest of the 90% of us going, Sodom. You know? How you feel about that as host of a top television show, I don't know.
Sodom. They're not getting in, are they? They're not getting in. OK.
But see, that's the interesting thing, because he can say he's going to hammer the rich, but ultimately the rich own the media. So that's why there's photos of him near toilets looking really old. So there's absolutely no chance of
That
him
photo
winning.
near a toilet, by the way, will probably be the most famous
there
shot.
you
I think.
go.
This is the shot you're going to see everywhere with regard to the Liberal. Him just pointing at a toilet. And pointing at a toilet and combined exercise machine, where you can clearly sit down and isolate your pecs. I do a couple of reps just as I'm on the push-out. Inhale and push it.
The new abdominizer.
No, here's a quote from Mingus. If you ever put me in one of those ham slicing machines, you'd find the top half Liberal and the bottom half Liberal Democrat. You're kind of going...
What an incredible thing to say.
Well, A, who goes into a ham slicing machine for a start? Surely you mean in one of those machines that cuts you in half, not one that slowly grinds you down through a series of really tiny
He'll
slices.
still be alive after this. I mean, it just shows you he is a zombie.
That would be amazing.
No wonder you couldn't kill him on that part of Resident Evil.
That would be great.
At the conference, and they said, please welcome our leader, and everyone's expecting a very boring speech once more. Menzies Campbell, whatever he's called, and his legs come out 2 minutes before his body. Liberal Democrat, come on! Bring out the cheeky girls!
He's got a 4% approval rating. Mein Kampf, which is nothing, right? So they could just have anybody lead them. It's not going to make any difference. So I say, come on, let's get Lee from Blue. He's not going to be any worse.
He's looking for a gig.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
And also his policies aren't going to come in and force it and say whatever he wants. I think that the homosexuals should declare war on the robots. Doesn't matter. Lee from Blue, bit of a laugh.
And also, his name is very odd. His name is Mingus.
Mingus, yes. Scots. Yeah, Mingus.
Yeah, but it's pronounced... It's spelled M-E-N-Z-I-E-S.
Yes.
Well, why are you looking at me like I'm insane?
He's got a
That's
weird name.
Menzies. Menzies.
Yeah.
John Menzies.
But apparently...
Menzies. People don't go, let's go to John Mingus. They don't do it. But what do you do? Martina Hingis. Martina Hengis. Why are you still looking at me like I'm not making sense? It's a G, not a Z.
Because I'm waiting
It's
to
a Z,
turn on
not a
me
G.
and my crazy ethnic name.
When they were growing,
some
it's
crazy.
Men Z. That's not G. When they were growing, there's fundamentally something wrong with this man. He can't speak. He doesn't understand his own name. When he was growing up, hello Ming, shall we go to the Goo and see the Gebra? What are they talking about? Should we catch Gulu Dawn and maybe get to Gingerberger? It's a nonsense.
In fact, you should pronounce it John Mingus. Apparently, it's to do with the defunct Scottish letter Zog. Yeah, you couldn't make that sort of crap up, could you?
It shows you how boring the Liberal Democrats are. It's more interesting to talk about the defunct letter Zog.
How does a letter become defunct? And if you're
We didn't
using
need it. Yeah. We had enough of Zog.
All right. What's going on here?
Big conga. They're having a massive conga.
That is a queue outside Northern Rock, somewhere where there's a Northern Rock.
That is a cue, yes.
Old people,
Yeah.
because they're the only ones with savings, and they've got more money than anybody knew. How much money have these badly dressed old people who send you £1 for your birthday? It's unbelievable. I get a little cut. I get a cheque for £10 from my grandmother, and look at these people. It's unbelievable. Well, I've got £1.2 million in there. Buy yourself a new fleece. Look at the state of you. It's unbelievable. But the homeless people, and they say, I'm worried I'm going to lose everything. You should be more worried about announcing on national television that you've got £1 million in your tartan trolley bag. There are homeless people going, can you spare me any change? No, only got cash, 1.2 million.
And the thing is, they're now wandering about northern town centres with all this cash, so everything else is falling, but the values of Greggs must be going through the roof. I mean, commodities brokers this week are going zinc's down, tin's down, yum-yums £3 each.
I'm also convinced, when I saw these pictures, I'm sure that half of them are just there for fun. So why are you queuing? I have no idea, but it's great, isn't it?
Is somebody on the news? That looks like fun. Let's have a bit of that. Oh, and what now? The banker backing our money will be able to queue to put it back in again.
It's impressive because this is how you as a nation panic. You line up in an orderly fashion and wait for 8 days to get a draft. It's impressive, right?
They're taking little
You
chairs.
see footage of like a Latin American bank collapse and there's people like picking up bins and throwing them through windows. That's how it was in I think it was Argentina the last time the bank collapsed. None of that up in northern towns. It's all like, yes, well, you know, we've been here all morning. It's been very pleasant, actually.
Before we move on, can I just say this picture is far sadder than any of us have realised, because this woman at the back in the red dress is paying £8 in.
My favourite story was apparently Newcastle United are sponsored by Northern Rock.
They are. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the chance come Saturday. You know, you only sing when you're queuing. Where's your money gone? Where's your money gone? You're going down with the Alliance in Leicester.
I didn't even know that banks borrowed money. This has come as quite a shock. You go to your bank, you borrow money, you expect that institution to be giving you money. It comes as quite a shock to me that people are in there going, can I borrow £5,000? And then they're going, just bear with me. You know when they always get up and they go away? They're on the phone in the back going, is that Ocean Finance? I'd like to borrow £5,000. Yes, I am a homeowner.
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael. Now we play a round called Northern Mock. This game involves Michael, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin the news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes. The winner is the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is health. Going to volunteer, Frankie.
Part of the side effect of the smoking ban in Scotland is that every pub, no matter how terrible or horrible, now has tables and chairs outside it. Basically, Glasgow looks like Paris after a nuclear war. People say there's no such way as a good way to die, and those people have never heard the phrase drug-fuelled sex heart attack. There's a great case in Scotland at the minute. A guy had a sex change, and he had everything chopped off. And then he decided that he wanted to change back. And they wouldn't let him. So he went to the European Court, and they said, OK, you can change back. Now he's changed his mind again. Wants to stay as he is. Typical woman.
Frankie Boyle. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is the West Country. Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, is it, do I like what's-its? It's phenomenal. Just wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site, right? And I was talking to my friend. I was like, Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right? And she looked and went, apparently you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And you're like, well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a Cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King of Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, we're left with Michael and Andy. Let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is North-South Divide. There goes Michael.
Right, yes. Now, I am from the south. Have you noticed? I have been north up the M1, and I don't know what happens to the word the. It seems to disappear at about junction 25 on the M1, and the word the just goes, that's it from me, I'm getting off. You go on ahead. Are you coming with? No, I'm not interested up there. And then you get there and they don't have, they say, oh, to fridge, oh, you're going up to, what are you doing? My first experience of this was when I went to the cinema in Leeds. I saw The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I had more fun asking the woman what it is I'd booked to see than watching the entire movie itself. So what is it I'm seeing here today? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. What's she talking about? Are you hearing this? Are you taking toothpaste? Yes, of course. I thought it might be a nice idea maybe to go to HMV and get a DVD of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, maybe The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and perhaps an album by The. And just line them up on the counter. What is it I've decided to purchase here? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. Took good, took bad and took ugly. And took. Thank you.
Well done, Michael. OK, Andy, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's religion.
Looks like my dad. We should, of course, remember that there are 5 major world religions. 4 of them got to be wrong. Imagine that, right? You're on your last day, you're going off to meet your maker. The gods of the 5 major world religions lined up in front of you. You've chosen your god. You're happy with your god. You go up to your god and your god produces a little bit of cardboard bluff. That is going to hurt, isn't it?
Well done, Andy Parsons. And At the end of that round, the points go to Michael and Frankie. The next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Michael, which category would you like?
I would like the category of crime, please, Dara.
OK. Crime it is. The answer is 25 pence. What is the question?
What is the British name for American rapper 50 Cent?
Is it how much did Ming Campbell pay for his first flat?
If Angelina Jolie looks $1 million, what does Amy Winehouse look like?
Is it just £1 will save a child's eyesight in Africa? But having decided it's not really my responsibility, how much did I send?
Is it what everyone over 30 thinks a Mars bar costs?
How much would I have to be paid up front to kill Jeremy Clarkson?
What fee guarantees Dean Gaffney's appearance at a party?
What's top prize on Romanian Deal or No Deal? Can I just take the box?
I could use it for shoes.
I'm going to steer towards the correct answer. Does anyone actually have any idea what was worth 25p?
It's something to do with money, isn't it?
It's
And
something to do with money. It's to do with the real cost of something that was...
It was Viagra.
Absolutely right. Yes, the question I was looking for... Yes, the question I was looking for is how much were a criminal gang paying for fake Viagra tablets that they later sold for up to £20 each. Several members of an international network were found guilty of making millions from producing counterfeit Viagra and anti-baldness tablets at factories in Asia. How's the scam uncovered?
Yeah,
they found out
it's ridiculous.
It doesn't grow your bloody hair back.
It was uncovered by excellent work from Customs and Excise, apparently, whereas it should have been uncovered by someone going, hang on a minute, I'm sure something's meant to happen.
I took Viagra once. I took Viagra and I had a hard-on for so long I had to give it its own shelf in the fridge.
Did anyone see the News 24 reaction? It was fantastic, because it just came out, news just in, and they found out about the Viagra case, and it was brilliant, because they were doing little puns. They were generally kind of going, I bet that's a hard case. They'll get a stiff sentence, and then you could genuinely see they obviously got a word in their ear, and they went, yeah, OK.
Why? If you set up a counterfeit Viagra ring in which you basically spam people and say, I've got Viagra for you, why bother making... like dodgy pills? Why bother making them at all? Just send them nothing. They're still not going to complain. Like, if they're not going to complain when the pills didn't work, they're also not going to write and go, I sent away to your company for Viagra pills and now I didn't seem to receive any.
It's now apparently the biggest selling drug in the world. And apparently, us boys, we think about sex once every 6 seconds. Now, that might be true some of the time, mightn't it? But it's not actually true when we're having sex, is it? We're trying to think of everything apart from sex. Traffic accidents, mortgage repayments. John Prescott, that's my own particular favourite. But you know when you're shagging away, right, and you've got this mental image of, say, John Prescott, and you're trying desperately not to get overexcited, and you do get overexcited, you feel dirty, don't you?
Do you know what, Andy? Next time, I'm going to be thinking of you, thinking of John Prescott.
You'll feel dirty. It's great we've got a drug to help old people have sex, isn't it? I love old people who've got that little twinkle in their eye, you know, and you're there playing Scrabble with your grandparents, and your grandpa puts down Viagra on a double word score and just goes...
I wonder about that old woman that gave birth at 63.
Yeah.
Because that baby can't have had to force its way out. Every time she went for a shit, it probably had to brace itself. Well, at the end of the Italian Job or something.
Which former American hero is in trouble again?
Batman.
It's O.J. Simpson. He's completely mental. You gotta love O.J., man, because he held some people up allegedly at gunpoint to get back some of his memorabilia, And his memorabilia is worth a lot because it appeals not only to sports fans but also to crime fans.
There is actually, it panned across some of his memorabilia, and there's American footballs that are signed, and there are like jerseys that are signed, and there's photograph of him in court at his own murder trial that he signed in order to be sold for memorabilia purposes.
What does he worry about that?
Keep smiling, O.J. Simpson. And a picture of him in the gloves.
It's a pity that they've done away with Celebrity Big Brother, isn't it? Because he'd have been brilliant on that. Day 63, OJ is painting a version of the Guernica using the intestines of Charlie from Busted.
He wrote a book it was like a year ago entitled If I Did It.
Yeah.
Which is basically him, if I did kill her, this is how I would have done it. And you're like, gee, who's his PR? Charles Manson?
The book has been released, but not by him.
By Murdoch,
the rights to the book, If I Did It, How I Would Have Killed Ron Goldman and My Former Wife, was won in a bankruptcy case by the Goldman family.
Oh, really?
Who
So
then released it with a cover of a big picture of him and the words, I did it, with the word if in minuscule letters. And they've sold 150,000 copies in the first 2 days of release.
Maybe that's
See,
what
the thing is, he was in the hotel for a wedding. Who invites O.J. Simpson to their wedding?
He just jumped out.
killed his fucking wife.
Maybe he just jumped out of the cake.
The police said it was an armed robbery. He said he was just with some golfing buddies.
At a wedding, yeah.
You know, you don't play golf using guns, do you? You know, oh, do you want to putt this one into the hole? No, I'll shoot it in. That'll be absolutely fine.
You can shoot a hole. Oh, I'm a long way from the hole. Maybe that hole. I'll get into this one relatively easily.
They described the robbery as a commando-style operation. You're like, wow, thrill seeker, guns and no pants.
OK, at the end of the points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. Our next round is called Newsreel, replaying a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features David Cameron and William Hague.
Good morning, I'm David Cameron, a.k.a. Mr Popular, winner of the 2007 Tony Blair Sound-alike competition. Not to worry, we have lots of policies. William, thank you very much. And the first policy I would like to introduce is that all bald men should cast 2 separate shadows. Well, those weren't the policies I was after, really. I was thinking more about the policy of beating children to within an inch of their lives and locking immigrants in Harry Potter's fictional prison of Azkaban. Could you... No, I can't. Because what is a policy on immigration compared with a shadow that can do that? When you move across the room, I'm good with shadows. I can use my hand. At the moment, I am doing a flapping bird. Bollocks. I will now continue with a series of impressions. See if you can guess who this one is. Now then. The band was just around the corner of your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Shawada. Look, nobody wants you to do impressions, William. People don't want you to be Jimmy Savile. People don't want you to be the Terminator. We want policies. The Terminator. Ah, interesting. I am the Terminator. Sent from the future to screw up your electoral chances. Well
done, Hugh. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call ideas for scenarios who have seen the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a royal correspondent to say.
Isn't it wonderful to see Prince Charles being made king at the age of 137?
And the Queen there, majestically taking her place in the queue to withdraw her savings from Northern Rock.
The Queen asked me if I was from the BBC. I said I was, and she told me to piss off.
There we see Prince Philip going over to talk to a man from China. This should be interesting.
In fact, it's the Chinese premier, and he's just asked him for a menu.
Prince Harry hasn't been put off by the congestion charge. He says he still manages to come into Chelsea twice a day.
know the crowd are absolutely loving this event. The night sky is dancing with light. Yes, the Queen set fire to Windsor Castle again.
It's great to see the whole family waving from the balcony through the sights of my AK-47.
And as Prince Philip cuts the tape to open this mental institution, the doctors have got him. They've got him.
The next topic is what a rugby commentator would never say.
Oh, and he skipped through the defence, and that's lucky, because if these South Sea Islanders catch you, they eat you.
It's time for the scrum where the players can have a quick kiss and exchange phone numbers.
And it's the coin toss, and Johnny Wilkinson has sprained his thumb.
And that is a massive tackle. I wish mine was like that.
Not everyone's been able to get tickets for this World Cup final, and we know a lot of you are watching at home. So hello to you, the England team.
Oh, and it's bad news for New Zealand. Rugby doesn't matter.
And keep an eye on this ball as it hits the ground, because it's such an unusual shape, it could go anywhere.
Seal it bang, seal it bang. Kia ora, kia ora.
All pretence has been abandoned as both teams take to the field naked, covered in lubricant to the sound of pounding techno.
Thick muscular necks, broken noses and powerful thighs. The rugby wives are minging.
This young man has a brilliant playing career ahead of him, followed by a bleak career as an after-dinner speaker before his suicide at 40.
Well, he is in many ways the perfect fly half. Legs of a human, torso of a blue bottle.
The South Africans there, passing to their one black player, Johnny Token.
So it's England versus Samoa, a team of rank amateurs against Samoa.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Ben Norris and Russell Howard. Commiserations of Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week for the last in series with a special show. Till then, I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Call a character witness who can't stand you. Tommy Saxondale's idea of defending himself in court next tonight. And then another round of Big Talk gets it sorted. More comedy to come here on BBC Two with that Mitchell and Webb look at 10.